Today we will discuss DC profiles. In this episode, we will discuss HighClass23. HighClass23 is a rapper from the 23rd Street Southeast area of DC, but he also has ties to 9th Street compound Uptown, the same hood Slattgoon is from. Slattgoon would have problems with a rival hood rapper named Slattgoon. Slattgoon is from the 3500 part of Northwest DC, who would diss Slattgoon in music and would even copy his name. Allegedly, Slattgoon went fishing on a bike looking for ops. HighClass23 would be on his phone. Then he would look up spotting Slattgoon on a bike and take off running. Slattgoon would give chase and follow him through alleys, and that's when a young HighClass23 would up G from his dip crushing his Vic. In Slattgoon's famous song, Northwest Goon, he says, "Bend on your block on a bike, I'm a shoot." The article says, a man has died after he was shot Sunday night on the same block as the Shaw Howard University metro station. Yayo Bird, 19, of Southeast DC, was shot in the 600 block of S Street NW near homes and businesses. Surveillance footage shows an empty residential street lined with parked cars. 16 shots and a person shouting can be heard in the video captured by Naheem Simon's security camera. "It scared the hell out of me, and I just hit the floor," said a man named Robert, who heard the shots. "Then I saw police all over the place. It scared the hell out of me." The gunman is believed to have fled the scene riding a bike. Bird was taken to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. Overnight, police said he died. Bird's sister said he was in the neighborhood to visit his girlfriend and was on his way to the metro station to go home. Bird was one of 9 siblings. His mother died in a fire about 6 years ago. Simon said the gunshots were not the first caught by his security camera. "Our camera captured 11 gunshots maybe 3 weeks ago," he said. "It's great having that security, but a camera is not going to stop people from getting shot. A camera's not going to stop guns getting pulled out in the middle of the day, as has happened to us."
About to hear the sounds of violence in our city. First the shots, then listen carefully to the cries for help. It was Naheem Simon's security camera that recorded the gunfire. He was inside his home at the time.
It was a lot of gunfire. And I was actually downstairs watching some TV with the dog, and I just immediately kind of shrank down on the couch. You could hear the screaming of the victim. There were people around him, and so we thought that maybe, it was the attackers, but it was bystanders that had just stopped to, I think, go help him.
It happened around 10:30 last night. The victim identified as 19-year-old Yayo Bird. His sister says he was planning to take the metro home, but he never made it to the station. He was shot and killed here on S Street.
Now we will get into the arrest of HighClass23 on Sunday, September 29th, 2019, at approximately 22 to 21 hours. Members of the Metropolitan Police Department's MPD 3rd District were on routine patrol when they heard multiple gunshots near the area of the 600 block of S Street NW. ShotSpotter alerted to the sounds of gunshots at 22:21 hours in front of 622 S Street NW. The officers located the victim in front of 641 S Street NW, suffering from a gunshot through his left abdominal region. DC Fire and Emergency Medical Services were summoned to the scene and transported the victim to Howard University Hospital, where the victim was admitted in critical condition. After all life-saving efforts were exhausted, the victim was pronounced dead by Dr. Williams at 2339 hours. The crime scene consisted of 2 locations across the street from one another in the 600 block of S Street NW. The front of 641 S Street NW, where the decedent 5.5 9mm expended cartridge casings, a 9mm handgun, and a black moped were located. The other location was on the south sidewalk of the 600 block of S Street NW, which was across the street from where the decedent was found. 1313. 40 caliber expended cartridge casings were recovered at this location, which is close to the intersection of S Street and 7th Street NW. During the investigation, surveillance video was obtained and reviewed from the 1700 block of 7th Street NW and the 600 block of S Street NW. In the video from 1730, 7th Street NW, it appears that the decedent, Talil Bird, was captured riding a moped northbound in the 1700 block of 7th Street NW passing S Street NW. Seconds later, Suspect 1 was then observed running northbound in the 1700 block of 7th Street NW on the west sidewalk towards S Street NW. Suspect 1 is observed walking into the 600 block of S Street NW on the north sidewalk. Suspect 1 walked to the first alley before turning around and walking back towards 7th Street NW. Suspect 1 then continued across S Street NW to the south sidewalk. Suspect 1 then proceeds to fire across the street in the direction of the decedent, while the decedent returns fire almost simultaneously from across the street while still riding the moped towards 7th Street NW. The decedent appears to make an attempt to retreat by turning the scooter, but he was shot and immediately fell off the moped to the ground. The decedent remained on the ground until being transported to the hospital. After the shooting, Suspect 1 is captured on video from 1730 7th Street NW, fleeing from the south sidewalk of the 600 block of S Street NW and running directly to the side of 1730 7th Street NW, Lincoln Westmoreland Apartments. As Suspect 1 ran, he can be seen with both of his hands in his jacket pockets. At the side of 1730 7th Street NW, there are three security gates. As Suspect 1 entered through the first unlocked security gate, he put his hood on his head. Suspect 1 then entered a second unlocked security gate, which led to a playground area. Suspect 2 was observed running northbound on 7th Street from the front of the apartment building and followed, a short distance behind, Suspect 1 through both unlocked gates. Suspect 1 arrived at the third security gate first. This gate appeared to be locked because Suspect 1 pulled and pushed on the gate, but it remained closed. When Suspect 2 arrived at this gate, he pushed a button to unlock the gate for Suspect 1. Suspects 1 and 2 proceeded through the gate and started running on the walkway behind 1730 7th Street NW. While running, Suspect 1 is seen with a dark object in his right hand that appears to be a handgun. Suspect 1 can be seen at the bottom of the camera view, turning to hand the object to Suspect 2, while Suspect 2 is reaching out toward the object to receive it, but the suspects exit the camera view prior to actually seeing the object change hands. Suspect 2 can then be seen appearing to adjust something in his waistband area as he entered the rear of 1730 7th Street NW and boarded the elevator. Suspect 1 continued running until arriving at a vehicle parked at the rear of 1730 7th Street NW. Suspect 1 entered the driver's side of a dark-colored vehicle and fled southbound through the alley. Then, based on video from 1630 7th Street NW, Shaw Library, westbound in the 700 block of R Street NW. Suspect 1 was last seen entering the 800 block of Rhode Island Avenue, NW, driving westbound. Your affiant viewed video footage from several camera angles before, during, and after the shooting. The following sequence of events from the cameras located at 1730 7th Street NW detail Suspect 1 and Suspect 2's body and clothing descriptions, direction of travel, timing of travel, and their apparent associates. The times below are approximate and are based upon viewing the video. 20:27:29. Suspect 1 is wearing a dark-colored Nike t-shirt, blue jeans with a faded knee, and dark blue and black colored shoes. Suspect 1 is observed walking the hallway on the 7th floor with Subject A, who is wearing a bluish-colored sweatshirt with black sleeves and white lettering, light-colored jeans, and black and blue shoes. 20:57:01. Suspect 1 waits for the elevator on the 7th floor. 20:57:48. Suspect 1 enters the elevator on the 7th floor alone. Suspect 1 extends his left arm in the doorway of the elevator to prevent it from closing several times while looking at his cell phone. Subject A eventually joins Suspect 1 on the elevator. 20, 58, 23. Suspect 1 and Subject A get off the elevator in the lobby. At this point in the video, Suspect L's large metallic rectangular belt buckle can be seen in the video. Also, Suspect 1's right arm is visible and displays a sleeve of tattoos. 20, 58, 33. Suspect 1 and Subject A's facial features, clothes and shoes can be seen. 20, 59, 04. Suspect 1 leaves the front entrance of the building. 22, 13, 35. Suspect 1 enters the front vestibule area. Suspect 1 can be viewed through a set of clear window panes in the lobby door. Suspect 1 is now wearing a dark-colored jacket with white stripes along the outside of the jacket's sleeves and also on the sides, torso area, and a light-colored vertical line on the left breast area of the jacket. Suspect 1 is wearing the same shoes as seen in the earlier surveillance video. The blue jeans also appear to have the same fading on the knee area as seen on the earlier surveillance video. Additionally, when comparing Suspect 1 in the front vestibule area to earlier surveillance video, he has the same general height, build, and complexion in both video clips. 22-2014, 10 to 22-17-02. Suspect 1 stays seated in the front vestibule area and appears to be viewing his cell phone. 22-17-03. Suspect 1 leaves the front vestibule area, but can still be seen in front of the building due to the stripe on his jacket. 22-18. Suspect 1 leaves view of the camera heading north on 7th Street, NW. 22-19-42. An individual that appears to be the decedent rides a moped northbound on 7th Street, NW, past the front entrance of 1730 7th Street, NW. 22-19-51. Suspect 1 runs northbound on 7th Street, NW. 22-20-28. Suspect 1 is seen running eastbound on S Street, NW, on the north side of the street. 22-20-42. Suspect 1 is seen coming back westbound on S Street, NW, and crossing to the southbound side of S Street, NW, where multiple flashes from his waistband can be seen, which appear to be consistent with light reflecting off of his belt buckle. The prior video from the lobby shows Suspect 1 wearing a distinctive metallic belt buckle, 22-20-55. As Suspect 1 crosses southbound on S Street in NW, he begins to quicken his pace, ducks behind a vehicle, and heads east on the south sidewalk of S Street, NW. 22-21-01. People at the corner of 7th Street and S Street, NW, appear to react to gunshots, and then flashes that appear to be gunfire are seen on the video where shell casings were later recovered. 22-21-14. Suspect 1 runs across 7th Street towards 1730. 7th Street, NW, where multiple flashes from his waistband can be seen again, which appear to be consistent with light reflecting off of his belt buckle. 22-21-27. Suspect 1 ran toward the rear of 1730 7th Street, NW, and Suspect 2 follows shortly behind. Suspect 2 came from in front of the apartment building. 22-21-28. Suspect 1 is seen running by the playground and attempting to enter through the locked gate toward the rear of 1730 7th Street, NW. The video is in black and white, but it is clear that Suspect 1 is wearing the same distinct jacket with the lines on the sleeves, the torso area, and the left breast area. Additionally, the two-tone pattern on the shoes can be seen and matches the pattern of the shoes from the earlier video clips of Suspect 1. 22-21-35. Suspect 2 follows. Suspect 1 to the rear and unlocks the gate using a button on a nearby fence. 22-21-50 to 22-21-55. Both suspects enter the rear alley of 1730 7th Street, NW. Suspect 1 turns his upper body to look at Suspect 2 as they continue running. When Suspect 1 turns, his jacket lifts up, revealing a large rectangular belt buckle. The belt buckle appears to be the same size and shape as the belt buckle seen being worn by Suspect 1 in the earlier surveillance video. Suspect 1 is seen with a dark object in his right hand that appears to be a handgun. Suspect 1 turns towards Suspect 2 and appears to be trying to hand this dark object to Suspect 2. This appears at the bottom of the camera view, so the viewer can see Suspect 1 turning to hand the object to Suspect 2, while Suspect 2 is reaching out toward the object to receive it, but the suspects exit the camera view prior to actually seeing the object change hands. Note, this camera time is from a separate camera system located at 1730 7th Street, NW, which is controlled and operated by the same company. The times are a few seconds different between camera systems because they are not synced to the same system. 22:21:44. Suspect 1 runs in front of a parked white vehicle in the rear alley and continues southbound. Suspect 2 meets a group of people in the rear of the building. The group, which includes Subject A, had just walked from the front of the building, through the lobby, to the rear of the building. 22:21:47. Suspect 2 appears to adjust an object believed to be a handgun in his waistband before entering the rear of the building. 22:22:04 to 22:22:28. The lights on a dark-colored four-door vehicle flash as if Suspect 1 is unlocking the vehicle remotely. Suspect 1 appears to stop at the rear of the vehicle and remove his jacket to reveal that he is wearing a dark-colored short-sleeve shirt. Suspect 1 enters the driver's seat of a black four-door vehicle and drives the vehicle away southbound through the alley. Note, this camera time is from a separate camera system located at 1730 7th Street, NW, which is controlled and operated by the same company. The times are a few seconds different between camera systems because they are not synced to the same system. 22:21:53. Suspect 2 walks through back door into the lobby with the group that met him in the rear. 22:22:18. The group, including Suspect 2 and Subject A, gets onto the elevator. 22:23:boy. Suspect 2 and several members of the group exit the elevator on an unknown floor. It is clear from the totality of the surveillance video that Suspect 1, when viewed on the lobby video at approximately 20:58, is the same individual as seen in the front vestibule area at approximately 22:13. Both videos are in color, and certain identifying details of the clothing can be seen, namely the same faded knee on the jeans and the same shoes. Additionally, the individual has the same general height, build, and complexion of Suspect 1 when viewed walking through the lobby. From the time Suspect 1 disappears from camera view after leaving the front vestibule area until he is seen chasing the moped believed to be operated by the decedent up 7th Street, NW, is less than 2 minutes. After the shooting, Suspect 1 is seen in black and white surveillance video fleeing to the rear of 1730 7th Street, NW. Although Suspect 1's face is obscured on the video after the shooting due to his hood being on, it is clearly the same individual as seen walking through the lobby at approximately 20:58 and sitting in the front vestibule area at approximately 22:13. This is based upon the pattern of the two-tone shoes being the same, the distinct jacket markings being the same, the large rectangular belt buckle, and similar height and build. The following descriptions of the suspects are from what your affiant observed on surveillance videos during the course of the investigation. Suspect 1 is a black male, 18-22 years of age, light medium complexion, bush hairstyle, a sleeve of tattoos on his right arm, black Nike t-shirt, and a dark-colored jacket with white stripes along the outside of the jacket sleeves and also on the sides, torso area of his jacket. Furthermore, a light-colored vertical line on the left front breast area of the jacket, blue jeans with a faded knee, black belt with a large rectangular belt buckle, and dark blue and black colored shoes. Suspect 2 is a black male, slim build, 16-18 years of age, short-cut hair, wearing white t-shirt with a logo on the left breast area, dark-colored jeans that are faded and ripped at the area of his knees, and black shoes. On Monday, November 18th, 2019, at approximately 15:17 hours, Metropolitan Police Department officers assigned to the 7th District Crimes Unit responded to 2422 Wagner Street, SE, Washington, D.C., in reference to a wanted individual. Officers approached this address. They encountered Subject 1, previously identified as Adrian Andre Vincent Jr., DOBA, 4/25/2000, walking out of the front door of the apartment building. Officers had prior knowledge from a law enforcement database that Adrian Andre Vincent was wanted on a DC Superior Court arrest warrant for first-degree murder, while armed warrant 2019 CRW 05-533. Officers arrested defendant Adrian Andre Vincent, Jr. pursuant to the murder arrest warrant without incident. A search incident to defendant Vincent's arrest was conducted upon the defendant's person. During this search, a Glock 23 40 caliber semi-automatic firearm, serial number KPA625, was recovered from defendant Vincent's groin area. This firearm had one live 40 caliber round of ammunition in the chamber and 12 additional live 40 caliber rounds of ammunition inside of the magazine, which was recovered from inside of the firearm. The magazine had a total capacity of 13 rounds. The firearm appeared to be fully functional, capable of firing a projectile by means of an explosive action, had a barrel length less than 12 inches, and had the ability to be fired by the use of a single hand. Defendant Vincent does not have a permit or license to carry a firearm or ammunition of any kind in Washington, D.C., nor did he make any representations that he had said, "license." The firearm was secured by the arresting officer, and then a member of the District of Columbia Department of Forensic Sciences obtained custody of the aforementioned firearm for further examination. Pursuant to a search warrant, defendant Vincent's home at Apartment A, 2422 Wagner Street, SE, Washington, D.C. The same building from which the defendant exited was immediately searched following defendant Vincent's arrest. The following items were recovered from inside of defendant Vincent's apartment. 1 additional live rounds of 40 caliber ammunition inside of a white bag. 23 additional live rounds of 9mm ammunition. 1 white rock-like substance consistent with crack cocaine, approximately the size of a golf ball, 9 grams. An ammunition speed-loading device. 2 pair of jeans similar in style to the jeans that the defendant is seen wearing on the videos referenced in the arrest warrant. A belt with a shiny belt buckle, similar to the style worn by the defendant in the videos referenced in the arrest warrant, but this belt is not the same brand name based upon the buckle's design. A handgun holster, and U.S. currency. In the amount of $4,461, defendant Vincent was placed inside an interview room at the homicide branch. The defendant was read his Miranda rights and invoked. Prior to being read those rights, the defendant asked the detective why he was there. The detective advised him that he was there for murder and provided him the date of September 29, 2019 and the area as 7th Street. The detective mentioned that there was video and that the defendant knew there was video because he put his hood up. The defendant saw papers in the detective's hand and spontaneously asked what they were. The detective said they were pictures. The defendant asked to see them. The detective showed the defendant the 2 photos one at a time. These were still photographs of the defendant from the videos referenced in the arrest warrant. The defendant nodded his head, yes, after viewing each photo. After nodding to the second photograph, the defendant took a drink of water, sat back in his chair and sighed. Defendant then denied having anything to do with this. That's the end of this episode. Comment if I should do a video on the retaliation of Slattgoon and the passing of Baby Bro 9. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Stroffing DMV on Instagram for all channel updates.